Hi guys, before we start today, I thought I would say hello. This is my first video that I'm doing for my house. This is crazy. Thought you'd like to see a familiar face. So hello everybody, we miss you so much. Hopefully you are all doing well and staying safe. All right, so our lesson today is 15.3 and it's all about centimeters. Before we start that, we're going to, the review of the day. So we have done the first page. Now you can turn it over and do the first section on the top of the page, which is called week 15, day 3. Please pause this video and complete the top half before continuing. All right, here we go. In the first box, we have 15 minus what equals 7. So if you don't quite remember how to solve for this missing number, what can you do? Well, this specific problem is showing us that we can put a variable in, which is x. This is going to represent our missing number. So 15 minus x equals 7. So we need to find out, what is x? So in order to find that out, we know that a part plus a part equals a whole. We know that 15 is our whole. It is our largest number. That is what is going to start us off in our subtraction sentence. And we know that 7 is a part and x is a part. So if we add 7 plus x, it would equal the whole. But in this case, we're trying to find the part. So we must take the whole minus a part equaling another part. So in this case, we need to find x. So 15 minus a part that we have, which is 7, will equal x. So 15 minus 7 is 8. You can check your work by adding the two parts together. 8 plus 7, well, I know 7 plus 7 is 14, plus one more is 15. And that is our whole. So 8 is the correct answer here. Moving on to the next box, it says, how much money? Well, I can see that we have 3 quarters here. How much is each quarter worth? 25 cents. 25 cents. You can write it for each quarter if you would like. If you know how to count up by 25s, you can say 25, 50, 75, and this will be your total. Or you could also stack them up. 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 5 times 3 is 15. Put down your 5, carry your 1. 2 plus 2 plus 2, or 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. 75 cents. Do not forget your unit. You need to have a cent sign in order to show what it is. If I erase my cent sign, 75 could mean $75, 75 cats, 75 boats. You need to tell us what 75 means. What is it standing for? In this case, we are talking about cents. You could also write it with the dollar sign. 0, as we have no dollars here, but we have 75 cents. So either of these are the correct answer. Okay. Use repeated addition to show how many boxes are shaded. Well, I'm looking at the shaded boxes here. So we have some options. Repeated addition, so we need to add in groups here. So we could say, how many boxes are in this first row? We have 3. Our next row, we have 3. And same with the following row. So we could say 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. 3 times 3 is 9, or 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. You could have also added by columns. You would have gotten the same answer. 3 plus 3 plus 3. All right. It says write the number in standard form from least to greatest. If you remember what standard form means, that means that you have the regular written form of the number. So 900 plus 40 would be 940. This is the standard form of the number. So remember, we need to keep in mind our hundreds place, our tens place, and our ones place. So I see for 600 plus 70 plus 6, we have 600. So it would, so the 6 would go in the hundred spot. We have 70, which the 7 is in the 10 spot, and the 6 is in the 1 spot. All right, keep this rule throughout. We have 300 plus 5, 300 in the 100 spot. I have no 10s here, so I'll put a 0, and I have a 5 in my ones category. And then I have 200 plus 90. I have a 2 in the 100 spot, a 9 in the 10 spot, and nothing in the 1 spot. So here are my numbers, and I need to order them from least to greatest. So least means smallest, greatest means the biggest. So if I look at these numbers, remember, I need to look all the way to the left-hand side. In my hundreds place value, which number is the smallest? 2. 2 is the smallest number, 290. All right. What is my next smallest number? 3, 6, or 9? 3. So my number here is 305. All right, is 6 or 9 smaller? Yes, 6. 676 and then 940. All right, the following blocks is our last one. It says circle the shapes with 3 sides. All right, so 3 sides. Remember, a side is kind of like the edge of your paper. It is a straight line. So we need to find we need to find shapes with 3 sides. I'm going to go right here. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's too many. Cannot be that one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's not one. 1, 2, 3. Correct. We have 3 triangles in this box that we need to circle. All right, you can put this away. All right, back to our lesson of the day of 15.3. We are going to be learning about centimeters. Our math goal of the day is to see if you can measure objects in centimeters. And no, I'm not talking about centipedes like these. Like those. No. We're talking about centimeters. Centimeters. Can you say centimeters? Cent, kind of like in our money system, we have cents. It's cent, meters. Centimeters. Centimeters. All right. So let's begin our lesson. All right. If you recall from yesterday, we learned about inches. This can also be represented by saying I, or by writing IN. IN stands for inches. All right. Today we're going to be learning about centimeters, and the abbreviation for this word is cm. So if I was to measure my pencil in inches, I would get out my ruler. Mine might look a little different, but they measure the same. Oh, this is 6 inches, so I could say 6 inches, or I can say 6 inches. This means the same thing. All right, if I'm talking about centimeters, we cannot use inches. We need to use a different part of our ruler. Mine is actually on the back side. Yours will be on the bottom of your ruler. But this one is easier to read with the camera. That's why I'm using it. All right, in centimeters, my pencil measures 15 centimeters long. So I can either put 15 cm for centimeters or 15 centimeters. The reason why we say we can put cm is because it saves us time versus writing out the whole word centimeters.
You can measure the length of an object in centimeters. What objects can you think of that are about 1 centimeter? What objects can you think of that are about 1 centimeter long?
So if I get out my ruler and look at my centimeter, you can get out your ruler and find 1 centimeter. On my hand, it's about the width of my pinky finger. So, what are some things that might be 1 centimeter long? Is there anything that you might find on the ground outside that would be crawling around? That is about 1 centimeter long? What other things could be 1 centimeter long?
Some objects that are about 1 centimeter long are your fingernail and a blueberry. Look at the end of the cube. Between which two numbers on the ruler does the cube end? The cube ends between 1 and 2 centimeters on the ruler. To measure to the nearest centimeter, look for the halfway mark. It is halfway between 1 and 2 centimeters. If the object is longer than halfway, use the greater number. The greater number is 2. The cube is about 2 centimeters long. How do you know the cube is about 2 centimeters long? It is longer than the halfway mark between 1 and 2 centimeters. Now look at the end of the paperclip. Between which two numbers on the ruler does the paperclip end? The paperclip ends between the 3 and 4 centimeter marks on the ruler. Is the paperclip longer or shorter than the halfway mark?
Remember that halfway mark is where that purple arrow is pointing. So is it longer or shorter than that?
The paperclip is shorter than the halfway mark. If the object is shorter than halfway, use the lesser number. The lesser number is 3. This paperclip is about 3 centimeters long. Now you know how to measure the length of an object in centimeters.
All right, so we're going to measure some things that I can find, and we're going to practice measuring items in centimeters. So can you please get out a ruler and your workbook? All right, so you have your workbook and a ruler. I'm going to use my ruler, but you need to find where it says centimeters or cm, not the inches. If you're unsure, you can see that centimeters are much smaller than inches. All right, so you have your workbook in front of you and a ruler. I want you to measure the length of your of your workbook. So we're going to be measuring the length of the width. So measure the width of your book right now, please. And I want to see what you get for an answer. You can pause this video to do this. Okay, so I am measuring the width of my workbook here, and I am carefully lining up the end of my ruler to the edge of my book, if you can see that. And as I look across my workbook, my workbook lands almost to the 21 centimeter mark. So since we are measuring to the nearest centimeter, if this book length ends between the 20 and 21, it looks like that it is much closer to the number 21 versus 20. So I would say that this book is about 21 centimeters long. Yours might be a little different. Okay, so let's measure. Okay, so hopefully you have your math workbook out and a ruler. I am going to use this ruler because, as I said before, it is easier to see on the camera. You have a clear ruler that Ms. Fink and I gave you. It should be in your packet. It has the inches on the top and the centimeters on the bottom. Remember, the centimeters are much, much smaller than the inches. It should say cm or centimeters by the numbers to show if it's the centimeter or inches side. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is measure the width of our workbook. So remember, you need to start at the end of your ruler because this end means 0. So we need to make sure we line it up with the end of our workbook. Okay, just try your best with yours. I want you to do it with me so you can practice. Okay, so you have your ruler at the end of your workbook, and we're going to see what the width of our workbook is. I see that my workbook lands between mark 20 and 21. Since we are measuring to the nearest or the closest centimeter, if I drew an imaginary line on my ruler right here, which number is closer? Is it 20 or 21? Yes, 21 is closer. So this is about 21 centimeters in width. All right, now we're going to measure the length of our centimeters, of our workbook. So you need to move your ruler to the top of your workbook. All right, remember to line it up. This edge of this ruler represents 0. And that's where our starting point of our workbook is. So as I measure all the way down here, I have, look at that. I am in between two numbers again. This happens a lot. This is why we need to practice measuring in centimeters and inches. You will use this throughout your entire life, whether you are measuring how tall you are, whether you're measuring to see if a table will fit into your kitchen, whether to see if a shirt is going to be long enough for your arms. It is going to be used throughout your whole life. Okay, so 27 and 28 are the two marks that our book lands between. And if I was to draw my imaginary line in my ruler, my book would come about right here, so a little past 27. I would say that this book is about 27 centimeters long because this mark is closest to 27 versus 28. Remember, we're counting to the nearest inch. So 27 is more near than 28. All right, now I want you to open up to page 15.3 to begin practicing together. Make sure you go to the back side of 15.3. It looks like this. You can pause this video at any time, remember, because you might need a stretch break, you might need to get some water. Please, you have the freedom to pause this video and press play when you are ready. All right, so our first problem says we need to estimate the length of each object, then use a ruler to measure. Okay, so our first object looks to be like a barrette. So we need to get out our ruler and we need to measure how long this is. But before we measure, what does it mean to estimate again? In order to estimate, we need to not use a ruler. We are just going to look at it and just kind of eyeball. How many centimeters long do I think this is? Well, I remember that my pinky was about 1 centimeter long. It's less than 10 centimeters and it's more than 1 centimeter. I'm going to estimate that it is maybe 5 centimeters long. I am not sure. I have not measured it. So I'm going to put 5 centimeters. Please put this down before you measure it. I want you to estimate before you measure. Okay, so now I need to measure this. You need your ruler. So please line up your ruler to the end of this barrette and let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. 5 centimeters long. That is our measurement of the barrette. It is about 5 centimeters. We say about because we might be off a little. Okay, for number 2, let's measure this leaf. We have, All right, so for number 2, let's estimate. How many centimeters do you think this is? Ooh, it looks smaller than the barrette. So I would say I'm going to put down 2 centimeters. You can put down a different number. What do you think it is? Be realistic. Don't say 1,000. Don't say 100. All right? I know some of you can be so silly, but we need to just try our best. What do you think that this leaf will measure in centimeters? Okay, so I wrote down my estimate. It is about 2 centimeters long. Yours might be different. Now I'm going to measure. Putting my edge of my ruler up to the end of my leaf. Ooh, my leaf. You might need to draw a line. Sometimes this helps me. My leaf is between 2 and 3 centimeters. So remember that we are measuring to the nearest centimeter today. That is our goal, to see if you can measure in centimeters. So we have 2 and 3 here, and our mark is closer to 3. I am going to write down 3 centimeters for our answer. Okay, moving on to number 3. You need to estimate how many centimeters long do you think this is? I took a guess and I said 7. I wrote it down. Okay, remember to pause this video if you need time to think about it. All right, now I'm going to measure this. It is, it is, it looks like my object, maybe I'm just going to call it my ribbon, is landing between 5 and 6. It's really close to 6 centimeters. So I'm going to say that it measures to be about 6 centimeters. All right. Moving on to number 4. It says, look at the spoon. Measure the length of the spoon in centimeters. About how long is the spoon? All right. So it is not making us estimate how long this spoon is. So we just need our ruler, and we're going to measure the spoon. So remember to go to the edge of our spoon with a ruler and follow the edge of the spoon. Ooh, I see that this spoon lands between 15 and 16. It is very close to 16, which is our nearest centimeter. So I need to find that answer, and I see it is letter C. It is about 16 centimeters long. Okay, choose an object that is about 1 centimeter long. So we have a seed, a paperclip, an eraser, and a cube. So which item do you think is about 1 centimeter long? If you are unsure, you can use your ruler to check. I'm going to work backwards. Well, this cube is about 2 centimeters, so that won't work. The eraser is about 4. The paperclip is about 3. Oh, the seed is about 1 centimeter. So I'm going to say A, 1 centimeter. All right, that is all I want you to do in your math workbook. You can put that away and you can get out your 15-3 yellow packet and you can do the entire thing. Once you're done, for a challenge, you can go on to your IXL account and do the suggested numbers that I wrote down on your peak of the week. And if you want to go and measure something else in your house in centimeters, you can go and measure your shoe. How many centimeters long is your shoe? I want you to do this if you would like as a challenge. Have a great day. Bye.